All right, let's go back to Durban now, where some flood victims have decided to occupy the Transnet hostel in Montclair. They accuse the provincial government of making empty promises last month when they met them. eNCA's Manqoba Mchunu is there and joins us now for an update. It's an organization called Imisinsi Yokuzimilela. Manqoba, I believe, that is actually behind the occupation of that area. What led them to this point where they said today is the day that they are going to occupy this building?
Well, Tula, certainly it is an organization known as eNCA, and of course this is an organization that has really been, talking and voicing their discontent at some of the living conditions at some of the halls where flood victims have been housed since April. Of course, we recall to us that there's still quite a number of people that are still living at community halls whose houses were totally destroyed, and this is not the first time that we're seeing this particular organization, of course, occupying, some of the areas here in KwaZulu-Natal. I'm just going to ask my colleague Kayiso Mdlaloso just to turn the side so that you can have a sense of what's happening here right now. To us, as you can see, there are quite a number of flood victims that have actually come to occupy this place. They're saying that they're not going to go anywhere up until their issues are resolved. And just excuse us, Chulas, we'll be moving along the passage just to show you how many of them would do understand that these are three different halls, or three people from three different halls that are staying in some of these halls. These include days, which we covered last month as eNCA, just to show some of the conditions that these flood victims had been living under. But just to go back on the point of these occupations, it's not the first time, of course, that we're seeing eNCA doing this. We saw them in May, where they illegally occupied the City Hall, demanding an ear with the Premier Sihle Zikalala to raise some of their concerns. Of course, that ended up in a clash with police, where they ultimately were forced out of the City Hall, but they didn't give up. They also went to the cabinet meeting that was taking place last month in Mayville, where they also disrupted that particular cabinet meeting, calling on government to intervene, saying that the conditions that they're living under are simply deplorable, they are inhumane, and they say that they want proper housing and they want the funds that were promised for the province in terms of flood relief to be released. Well, we're taking you to one of the rooms here. As you can see, Chulas, this is one of the rooms here. It is a lodge here in Montclair, and this is a lodge that is, we understand, is owned by Transnet. And one of the halls that these residents are staying in is a hall in Days, which is a hall owned by Transnet. So that's the reason why they're saying now they are coming here to occupy this particular hall. They're saying that they're not going to be moving here up until they get an ear from government. So we have hundreds of people that are here in this particular place, Chulas, who are saying at this particular point that they want government to answer. Last month they say that there were MECs that they spoke to, Nomusa Dube from, who was the MEC actually of finance here in the province, who made promises to them that they were going to be receiving better housing and that they're going to respond to some of their grievances in about 2 weeks' time. But they say that it hasn't happened. But joining me now is Kuku Keswa from eNCA. Kuku, let's start here. Why have you taken this decision today? Why are you here?
Ireason ukuthi abantu bezela balethela sahamba saya eCity Hall sakuhlala phansi sakhuluma no Mr Mavundla wathi ucela simnike ithuba lika 48 hours. That 48 hours waphela awukho umnyakazo wenzeka kunalokho kubakhombana no Mr Godongwane ukuthi imali ingakephi. Sadlula lapho sadlulela kwi provincial cabinet meeting. uMEC uSisinomusi wathi ucela ukuthi abahlali basemahall bamnikeze u2 weeks, wathatha nama numbers ethu umuntu ozobuyela back ekuthini akaza fonele noyedwa wethu, akaza fonele noyedwa ama representatives asemahall, akaza kube khona impendulo. Yet itamkoko kwi hall yaseTheys ephansi kwa Transnet abakwazi ukuyocela bacelela ukuthi abantu bahlale kuyona iqhuma amakaka inendle eqhuma kuyona. Yet kunezindlu zaka Transnet ezinje ezikwi condition enje abahlulekile ukuzofaka zona abantu empty ezingenabo abantu abahleli kuzona. Yini yahlula ukuthi bathatha abantu bazobafaka la balindele la njengoba de benzile ehall. That's the reason enza ukuthi sithatha abantu sibafake lana.
But akukho siswami illegal lokho enikwenzayo ubone ngazuthi kuphula umthetho.
Ku illegal kwayikona ukuthi abantu ababavotele babafake ema-hall angenampilo, kukhona nezingane ezincane, kukhona nama-infant bobafaka khona. Lokho kuqala ku-illegal bona behleli befudumele endlini zabo.
So ke sisi uma kufika amaphoyisa nizokwenzeni?
Amaphoyisa azo-addresswa ngendlela ukuthi akukho okuvandalizwayo, akukho abakubulalayo. Umthetho uma usuwuphula uphula ngoba ubulale something. Njengamanje labantu baxakekile, badinga indawo yokulala e-clean, enempilo, ekhombisa ukuthi babantu batritheke nabo babuyelwe isidima la bezolindela khona until i-MEC nethimba lakhe lenza imnyakazo ekhombisayo ukuthi bayimisele ukuthi bakhipha abantu bafake endlini ababathembisa zona ngebhillion abasi-addressa kwi-cabinet meeting ukuthi ikhona imali ikhishiwe imali ukuthi bakwazi ukuthi balungisele abantu.
So ke sisi kuzokwenzekalani manje?
Njengamanje bazohlala la abantu until ama-officials asukume enze imisebenzi ekufanele ayenze.
Well, let me speak to some of the residents too, just to get a sense of them on their living conditions. I see Mama now with her child here on the floor. Mama, dikhala ngani ngempela yini le lethe ukuthi nize nibe lezi njani izimpilo ngaphansi kwazo?
Indlela esihlala phansi kwazo azikho right, ziyaqhuma izitamkoko kuyiholo esihlala kulona, alikho lisempilweni lingcolile.
So kunibona ukuthi nize la mama? Nibona ukuthi nize la mama?
Abantu abasiphethe babona bazosilethe la endaweni eclean engcono.
Well, Tulas, as you can hear the frustration from some of these residents. They're saying that the living conditions where they come from are simply not for humans. They're saying that there is sewage spilling over at that particular hall where they're staying, which is Hayes Hall, which is something that we as eNCA also witnessed when we went there last time. And in fact, they're saying that the reason why they've come here is because too many promises have been made by officials. I'm just going to ask Kanye, so just to go with me as we show you some of these residents. They are all over this particular place. So they're saying that they will not move here to us up until the officials, that is the officials from the province, do address some of their concerns. They say that promises were made by MEC Nomusa Dube as far as accommodation is concerned. She had said that she is going to come back, the provincial government is going to come back and offer them what we would say as dignified accommodation for them, but that hasn't happened. So there are quite a number of them. There are children, there are old people that are here, and we're just going to move downstairs to us just to show you. This is, I think, a 4-story building here at this particular area, and these residents have literally occupied all the floors here. They are here waiting outside for the keys, and they are insisting to us that they are not going to leave this particular area. I just want to show you here. This is another floor to us where we find more residents that are just sitting here waiting. They're saying that they're not going to move from this particular area up until they get the answers they deserve. Of course, they're saying that they also don't want to go back to those halls because life there is simply deplorable. Mama, nikhala ngani mama, ngiyakhumbula ukuthi ngaye ngakubona nawe eTheys mama lapha ukhona lapha eTheys. Mama yini eneza ukuthi nawe uzufikelela?
Ukuthi indawo yokuhlala nginayo yapheliswa izikhukhula.
So ke mama yini lekususe eTheys kulethela?
Yenze njani?
Ekususe eTheys ukuthi uzufikelela.
Ukuthi ene abanikazi beholo sebeyalidinga.
Bathe balidinga kunini?
Abasho ngoyisikhathi kodwa sebeyalidinga lona.
Okay, una indawo ongabuyela kuyona nakho la uhlala khona indawo ongaya kuyona?
Hayi ayikho indawo engaya kuyona.
Well, Tulas, as you can hear, one of the residents, it's one of the elderly residents here saying that she has nowhere to go. Her house was also one of those that were washed away by the flood. So she says that the reason why she's here is because she's also been told that the owners of that hall now want to use it, and so they have to find other alternative places to live. So that's the situation here currently at this particular lodge. And of course, at this particular point, we have seen police outside, but there has been no indication so far as to how this issue will be resolved.
All right, Manqoba, thank you for that. All of this while the ANC meets at its conference in KwaZulu-Natal, not far from where you are.